Hey, what's up, people? This is Stacy Cochran, and I'm going to do a Strava Labs flyby of our Evans Mountain ascent run today. And this is kind of interesting because Aaron has uploaded his run, and I've uploaded my run, and one of the big discussion points in this particular run was which route to take. So this flyby shows both of the routes, which is kind of cool. So we all stayed together starting back here at the Green Mountain Trailhead. We had, I don't know, I guess there was about 7 of us today, 6 or 7 of us. And we started at the Green Mountain Trailhead and proceeded down the Brush Corral Trail. And we dropped about 1,000 feet in elevation over this opening 2 miles or so, as you can see with the data in the graph at the bottom of the screen. And then when you reach a ridge that overlooks this canyon over here, which is known as Buman Canyon. And we had gotten together a few days ago and discussed which route to take, and the trail maps all suggest going this way, going down into the basin, dropping all the way down to 1,200 meters. And then climbing back up Evans Mountain. And I think that was the sensible route to take. And that's the route that everybody other than me took going up to Evans Mountain. So this flyby is kind of interesting because you can see how we separated here. The other route was to go out to the north, as I did, on what we were calling the ridge route, and there was no trail. Let's be very clear about this. There's no trail on the ridge route. So if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever at some point in the future and you're thinking about doing the Evans Mountain ascent, understand that that ridge route, there's absolutely no trail. Whereas the basin route, there's at least some kind of signage and trail. So what was fascinating about this run is that we had a two-way radio. Aaron had one, I had one. And so we were in communication the whole time, except for a couple of times when they were in this canyon, coming up this canyon here. They lost a little bit of radio contact. And we had been apart for about, I don't know, maybe 2 hours or so at this point. So we really hadn't seen, I hadn't seen them. And as you can imagine, when you're out in the wilderness like this, and none of us had been to this location, you know, there was some concern that we would meet up at roughly the same time, and lo and behold, boom, we met at this saddle almost, you know, I probably within like 5 or 10 minutes of one another, and then proceeded up to summit at Evans. Although this map shows Evans all the way over here to the right, which we had discussed and debated as well when we were on site, about whether the actual Evans Mountain was to the east of where we ended up summiting. And it looks like it, at least according to this map, might have actually been that rocky outcropping that we were talking about, which is further out to the east. So, Aaron, Tucson Trail Runners, if you're watching this video, you know what that means. We need to go back and do this again, because it looks like Evans Mountain is actually over here, folks. So we were about 200 yards shy of actually hitting the actual summit, which was the rocky outcropping, at least according to this particular map. At any rate, this is kind of a cool feature in Strava because you can see the flyby. So interestingly enough, I took this ridge route, they took the basin route, and then came up the canyon. We met at the saddle, went up to summit, and then proceeded back along the ridge route. And I think there was some discussion and debate about whether the ridge route was easier or not. What I can say to anybody who would be watching this video and considering this particular hike is the ridge route is not marked at all, whereas the basin route is. So that's something to consider. I guess in favor of the ridge route, there's much less vertical decline and then ascent. So if you're taking the basin route, you really drop down from 6,000 feet here down to 1,200 meters. So what is that? Um, 3,000 feet or something like that. So you're dropping down 3,000 feet to get down to the basin, and then having to climb back up to 5,000. Whereas if you're on the ridge, you're basically staying up on the ridge, but there is no trail there. So you kind of have to decide which you're more comfortable doing. At any rate, so that's a pretty neat fly through of the Strava uploaded data from our very adventurous and fun and exciting and arduous trek to Evans Mountain.